Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ABCs of Preschool. I'm your host, Miss Samber. Thanks so much for joining me this week. I'm excited because we're going to talk about how to start your own home preschool, home childcare center. I'm excited because this is what I did when I was 23 years old. And my firstborn was, I think, just 7 months old when I opened up the doors of Loving Start. And I started in my home. And you can too. If you have been thinking about starting a preschool, if you love kids, it's your passion, you've maybe taught preschool before, you've taught elementary school, you just have it in your blood. Like I have more to offer this world. I want to make an impact on my community. I want to make an impact on other families. This is the episode. This is the episode for you because I wrote a book, as you guys know, the ABCs of Preschool, and it's literally all my tips and tricks. It's a guidebook of exactly how to open up a preschool. And I want my listeners, I want you to know that you don't have to have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to open up a preschool or a childcare center. Now, there's different ways to do this, but today we're going to talk specifically about the home version. That's why I'm really excited. If you've visited my website, thelovingstartway.com, or if you've read my book, I do have a chapter on F is for franchise. And I am walking that path of franchising, almost done, almost ready to help others open their own Loving Start. But so there's why I'm excited about that part of it is because the typical franchise and childcare centers are you have to have a lot of money and you're building this big giant building. I'm excited because I'm going to have 3 different models, and one of those models is a home version because I believe in the home version of a preschool. I am so passionate about it because I did it successfully for 9 years while my kids were little, while they were in sports. I brought in staff. I would teach 3 days a week or 2 days a week, part-time, full-time. It was awesome. So today is all about how to start a home preschool. And I'm going to give you some tips and just how you do it. So if you love kids, if you're passionate about kids, and maybe you're just ready to be your own boss. Okay? Like you're ready to walk down the path of being your own boss. And maybe you're pregnant and you're thinking, "Oh my goodness, daycare, childcare is so expensive. I'm not going to be able to afford it. How can I provide for my family?" This is a way. It truly is a way, especially if you do it a certain way, you can provide very well for your family. So if this is you, take some notes. So the first thing is, where are you living? If you want to open up your own preschool, actually, let me back up. The first thing is, you're going to call yourself a preschool and do not use the word daycare. I don't know why, but I figured out at 23 years old to not use the word daycare when I opened up my school. It was Loving Start Preschool back then. And I never referred to myself as a daycare, even when I ran through my home for 9 years. I was a preschool with a curriculum, with a schedule, with a full classroom set up in my home. So the first step is, if this is something you guys are thinking of doing, dreaming about, you've been just feeling it in your bones that you want to open up your own preschool, you are a preschool. You are a school. I encourage you to offer an curriculum and set yourself up to be separate from the people down the street from you. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of daycares. But I think a lot of times parents want school, like they're going to pay you a lot of money. So we want to make sure we're providing high quality care. So the first thing would be like, where are you living? Do you own your home? Are you renting a home? Are you in an apartment? The first thing, if you're thinking about opening a preschool in your home, is can you have a preschool in your home? Some apartments probably won't let you maybe have a home daycare. Well, when I say home daycare, it's because the state will refer it to as a home daycare license. We'll get into that. But your first thing is, can you open up a preschool where you currently live? If you're renting, would the homeowner allow you to do that? Will the HOA, if you're an HOA, like what are the rules? So the first step would be, can you open a home preschool? The second would be to go to your state, wherever you live. So I've been in California my whole life, and the state department that oversees all preschool, home daycares, child care centers is called community care licensing. So whatever state you live in, you need to go on the website and read all the rules and regulations for your state on opening a home preschool. And when I say home daycare, is because that's the terms that typically the states will refer to when you're opening from your home. They'll say a home daycare license or a child care center license. Center typically means a commercial big building, and a home daycare license obviously is in a home. So when you're looking for your state rules and your state regulations, they're going to refer to it as a home daycare. But that doesn't mean you have to refer yourself as yourself as a daycare. I would encourage you to refer yourself as a school because it gives you more legitimacy. That would be this step 2 is you go to your state guidelines. Step 3 is you go to your city. And that's what I was talking about. Like, what is your city guidelines? And mainly, like, if you're in an apartment, like, what would your apartment building say? If you're renting a home, what would the property owner? You need to go and see if it's possible. Now, if you've checked all those boxes and you're saying, I'm good to go, I can do this, what I did when I was 23 is we decided we had owned our home. We did own our home, and we had taken an equity line out, and I decided to build a classroom. So basically an extra room onto our family room because I wanted, I was already a mom of my oldest son. I was pregnant with baby number 2. I wanted my preschool job life to be separate from my home life. And I think that was like the best gift I could have given myself. And I'm 23. Like, I was learning everything. I had no idea what entrepreneurship was. I didn't know anything, but I did know that I wanted my home life and my work life to be separate. So while we were building this extra room, this classroom onto our house, we took out all the living room furniture because when you walked into our house, in our first house in the Bay Area, you would walk straight into the living room. So I took out the couch and just all the furniture, and I bought, I had tables and chairs, bulletin boards, dramatic plays, circle time area. Like, I turned that into a classroom. You walked in and you immediately knew you were in a preschool classroom. So that was the first thing I did. And if you have a separate room, as I grew over the years and as we moved homes, again, I did this successfully for 9 years, and I moved 3 times during this time. So I started off in Fremont, California in my living room. Then 3 years later, I moved 10 minutes down the road to another city, Newark, and I took a family room that had its own entrance as we were looking for another house to buy, like we were moving. This family room had its own entrance and it was all ready to go. When we moved 4 years later, 2 hours away, same thing. As we were looking for a house, I wanted a room separate from the house, a family room that had its own entrance with a slider door. So it's so possible. So if you have a family room or a living room that you can like separate, that parents can enter on their own, it just creates a home life separation between work and home life. I personally loved it that way. I thought it was great. And I, like I said, I did this for 9 years and I moved to 3 different houses during those 9 years. So you're going to create your classroom. And when I first started out, I use bright primary colors. Even the podcast cover is kind of bright and it's very preschool looking. But over the years, I've evolved, and my preschool classrooms are really homey colors, a lot of plants, just very natural looking. So I would encourage you to look on Pinterest for ideas. But your classroom should be set up like a classroom. And you should have curriculum and a schedule, and marketing materials is really, really important. If you want people to believe in you and separate yourself from everybody else, you want to right out of the gate. I mean, I would recommend a website. There's Canva. If you haven't heard of canva.com, it's the most amazing marketing app website ever. I mean, anybody can look so professional now. You should have an Instagram page, Facebook page, website, like all of that you should have. Like, I'm really about presenting professionalism and not throwing things together, because you want to get paid well for your time. But you also, if you want to get paid well for your time, you have to provide high quality care. And high quality care includes when parents come to tour your home preschool, you're going to look nice, you're going to look professional. Your space that you provided is going to look clean and organized and homey, and you're going to show them a schedule. You're going to have a parent handbook. You're going to have like a tour packet. All of those things are so important because, again, it shows that you are professional, you know what you're doing, and you've put the time in to provide high quality care. So I think you would need all of that, even for a home preschool. And I think actually even more so because there's so many of you guys out there, right? There's so many home daycares, so many home preschools. You want to set yourself apart from everybody else. So website, there's also fiverr.com is a great tool as well. You can have a website built for hardly anything these days. You can go on wix.com and build your own website. Getting social media, that's free, but just having a presence is really important. And then you're going to want to market yourself, right? Once you have to go through the licensing process, then you might have to go to orientations. You're probably going to have your state come out and look at your space. Again, that's going through the checklist that your individual state requires of you. Do not open without a license. It's illegal. You cannot do it. You have to go and follow all the rules of your county, your city, and your state. I can't stress that enough. So please follow whatever it is. Set up your classroom, and then curriculum. I would say you provide a schedule, and you're going to have circle time. You're going to have music time. You're going to have art time. Like, provide all the cool stuff for your students. It's awesome. If you need help with curriculum, I'm going to shamelessly put in a plug right now, but I used to spend hours and hours planning and prepping curriculum. We've just created, it's called the Loving Start Way Community. It's curriculum made for you. I mean, it will save you hours of time. Basically, every month we do your whole monthly calendar. We have a theme every month. We have circle time covered, sensory projects, art, music, everything, your whole month of activities. We've done it for you. All you have to do is log in and download it all, print it all, and you're good to go. And you have high quality curriculum. And that's found at thelovingstartway.com, thelovingstartway.com, and check community. And that is curriculum done for you. It's amazing. So I would suggest, if you're a home preschool, provide curriculum. The more you do for your clients, the more high quality care you give your students, the more desired you're going to be, and the bigger the waiting list will be to get into your school. I hope you heard that. The more you give your clients, the more high quality care you give your students, the higher the demand will be for your services. And the longer, higher wait list you will have. That's how it works. If you do good, be good, your waiting list is going to grow and you're going to always have financial stability in your business and you're going to thrive for the long haul. And it's exciting. Honestly, I thought I was going to be a stay at home mom. And what the beautiful thing about opening up my preschool was I got to be mom, but I also got to have myself as a boss. I learned how to be a boss. I learned how to be a leader. I became a better teacher, a better entrepreneur. I could make my own hours. When I was nursing, like if I wanted to work part time, I'd bring in an extra teacher. It was such a beautiful career as a mom. I was such an active mom, but I also got to bring money into our family. Like I got to help provide for our family. And that felt so good for me. And I think it's important especially if you're a woman listening to this, I think it's important for us to be financially stable on our own. I think everybody should be. Let me just rephrase it. I think everybody, even if we're in a marriage, should be able to financially provide for ourselves because we never know what's coming around the corner. Unfortunately, maybe a partner could pass away suddenly, or this happily marriage that you think you have in 10 years may crumble from different situations, and you may need to get out of a marriage. And if you do not have your own financial means, then it just limits you. So opening my home preschool liberated me. It really did. Like it was so fulfilling for me in so many ways. Like I was making an impact on my community. I was making an impact on my students. I got to be there for clients who were having a really hard time. If they just needed a shoulder to cry on, I got to be there. I was making an impact on my own children because I got to help support them and like pay for their baseball and their new cleats and soccer and like help family vacations. And ultimately, 17 years into my previous marriage, where it got so hard, I was able to get out because I could stand on my own 2 feet. So I'm so thankful. This business is no joke. It's a real business. It's a game changer of a business, especially if you love kids so much. You're sharing your passions and your love and you're making such a huge impact. Another thing that's just amazing about this job is every day is so different. It's not a boring office job. Sorry if you're working an office job. Like every day is such an adventure and it's such a beautiful thing. So those are just a few tips on how to start a home preschool. You can come on my website. I will love to help you along the way as well. But I think if you're thinking about it, if you love kids, we need more passionate early childhood educators. And it's an incredible job to be mom and a business owner at the same time because it really allows you to be both in a beautiful way. I can't tell you how much it's blessed me, changed my life, and given me now, almost 23 years later, because I've opened up different centers, financial freedom, time freedom, and the happiness that I get to help impact so many kids and families in my community. It just is an amazing, amazing job. So if you're considering opening a home preschool, don't wait. Do it. Pick up my book, The ABCs of Preschool. I will walk you through the entire thing. You can reach out to me on my website. I can coach you through it. It's a game changer. It truly is. I've loved it. And it paid so many of our bills for so long. And then I graduated. I went commercial and just went from there. So that may be your path as well one day. So thanks so much for joining me this week on the ABCs of Preschool. Remember to wish it, dream it, do it. Have a wonderful week.